thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. Thunder Bay City Council will vote Monday night on a downtown Fort William renewal plan. It proposes the city move more aggressively in developing vacant and underutilized land in the South Core. The draft plan is meant to set the stage for the revitalization of the downtown after Victoriaville is demolished. Some of the larger ideas include establishing a new development corporation or bringing a university or college campus to the area. There's also a consideration for a housing development at the parking lot on North Street. McKellar Ward Councillor Brian Hamilton believes some of the ideas in the plan would be crucial to the South Side's future.
We really have to, capture some of the momentum that's coming, right? Because everybody, people are going to come to see what it looks like down here when it's all done. And businesses are going to get excited about it right away because the first ones in are ultimately going to have the best success. So, and the biggest opportunities, right? So it's important to capitalize on that momentum.
The 50-page plan highlights some short-term measures as well, including more lighting and security. Freezing rain and ice pellets forced the closure of Highway 17 between Chappaqua and Dryden earlier this evening. The closure was reported by the MTO starting at 5 p.m. and there's no word on when the highway will reopen. The icy weather was also likely the cause of a collision on the Thunder Bay Expressway this afternoon, which shut down all 4 lanes for around 2 hours. The crash occurred sometime before 4 o'clock just north of the Arthur Street intersection. At least 3 vehicles were involved. 2 pickup trucks crashed into each other with an SUV driving into the guardrails, and there was substantial damage to all 3 vehicles. No details were available regarding potential injuries to the drivers or other occupants. The OPP reopened the expressway at around 6 o'clock this evening. Thunder Bay woman has been charged with multiple firearm-related charges following a confrontation Saturday afternoon. Just before 3 p.m., off-duty police officer Constable Charlene Bordeaux was at a Northside business in the 0 to 100 block of Cumberland Street South. The female suspect attended the business and spoke to the off-duty officer before drawing a Glock 9mm handgun. Constable Bordeaux was able to disarm the woman and call 911 for backup. When officers arrived, they completed the arrest of 32-year-old Shannon Roundhead and seized the firearm. She appeared in bail court today and was remanded into custody with a future appearance date. It's the end of an era for policing in KI. For decades, the First Nation on Big Trout Lake was served by their own law enforcement agency, the KI Police. But the KI Police are no more, as it's now been absorbed into the OPP. Lee Noonan has more.
After 21 years on the job, KI Police Sergeant Barry McKay is trading in his badge for one that reads OPP.
Thunder Bay Doolima 701 this is Sergeant McKay going 10-7 for KI Police. Thank you.
He and Constable Ava McKay are the last officers to wear the KI Police uniform. They were sworn into the OPP this week. The few other members of the First Nations small police force had already signed up with the OPP over the course of the transition. For Barry McKay, the end of the KI Police Service is sad, but he feels good about what's next.
To become an OPP officer, it's very exciting. It's still surreal to be I still can't believe it's actually happening.
The police station became an official OPP detachment on April 1st, but the provincial police already had a strong presence in the community, and KI Police had been under OPP administration for years. The transition shouldn't make much difference to the general population, according to Kitchener-Makossa-Bininawuk Chief Donnie Morris. For him, making the switch is all about getting equal treatment for the local officers.
So that's one of the things we figured. We might as well go OPP so they can automatically get the benefits, the help, the training in other areas of not just being an officer.
They have the opportunity to now become detectives if they wish to in a major crime unit. They could go into drug enforcement. There's our tactical response units. There's many different things within the OPP, and essentially now as constables, they could do anything that we offer. And they also have the opportunity, we don't want them to, but there's also the opportunity to now explore different areas of the province.
The change also means local officers will be eligible for the same bonuses other OPP officers receive for staying in the remote community. Despite being a veteran with decades of experience, McKay is still excited about the training opportunities.
Right now, like there's this called a crisis negotiators course, and that's something I'm interested in doing, and also something like one of the specialty teams.
McKay says he's looking forward to starting a new chapter in his career here with the OPP. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
Gateway casinos in Thunder Bay will be closed until further notice due to technical issues within their system. According to a post made to the company's Facebook page, as of 1 p.m. today, Gateway Ontario locations are closed due to a system-wide malfunction. In town, all doors to the casino were blocked with a sign saying closed for unseen circumstances. The time of reopening is unknown, but the casino said residents can follow its Facebook page for updates. The film production program at Confederation College hosted multiple film nights this weekend to showcase the talents of its film production students. Jessica Clement was there.
Or even better, maybe you can talk to a therapist about it. That'll never happen.
From sci-fi to horror to romance, attendees were able to experience a variety of genres at Conflix's 2023 film nights. 34 films were showcased at both the Friday night and Sunday afternoon screenings, resulting in about 4 hours worth of entertainment. Film production program coordinator Eric Weller says film night is like an end-of-year celebration and is an important milestone for the students.
Mainly, it's having a tangible product, if you will, that sort of demonstrates their abilities and showcases their ability to start a project, work on it, and finish it, bring something to completion. And it's a wonderful marriage of, the technical as well as the artistic.
Students in the 2-year program learn a comprehensive overview of virtually every aspect of film production, including directing, script writing, sound mixing, and art direction. And for their finals, students were expected to use everything they've learned over the past 2 years to make a short film. Film student Montana Van Zambergen says she wasn't able to come up with a concept for her film right away.
It was very difficult to find any inspiration or an idea for my film itself, and when I finally found it, I kind of put my entire heart and soul into it, and it just poured out of me. The inspiration was actually the part of the film where she finds her boyfriend in the forest, and she stops him because he's leading her through this whole adventure, and she stops him and she confesses her love. And that's actually my experience with my boyfriend.
Both film nights took place in the college's newly renovated lecture theater, which makes the 2023 class the first ones to present their films in the new space.
It's pretty cool, honestly, and the sound is so much better, and the quality of everything is super great, and the chairs are super comfortable, which is sweet. But yeah, it's pretty cool being able to be the first class to show all of our movies up here.
All films will be available to view online at conflix.com. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
And speaking of film and television, the hosts of a popular TV show on the History Channel made their way to the Rainy River District to film their latest adventures. The second season of Lost Car Rescue debuts this Wednesday, and 3 of the episodes focus on their discoveries in that part of the region. Carl Langdon has the story.
Sitting on the side of Highway 11, the Rainy River Railroad Museum is a familiar sight for many, but for the host of Lost Car Rescue, this wasn't only his first visit to the museum, but also his first to Ontario.
Originally, we were contacted by Rainy River, the railroad station there. There was a lovely lady there that represents the museum. One of the original CN vehicles, a truck, was taken out and basically lost on one of the islands, supposedly.
Loaded with tips from the public, Sager and his team took the opportunity to scour the regional landscape. But there was one lead in particular that Sager mentioned as one of his primary motivations for making their longest trip yet.
There was a bit of information that we've dug up that Al Capone had also made landfall on the Canadian side over by Fort Francis. It was pretty amazing to be able to follow the footsteps of where Al Capone had jumped across, and being just one step behind them the whole time. It felt like he, could have been alive just driving down the road in the next corner.
Sager wasn't initially certain that the trip would pan out, but this year's success, including the discovery of a magic school bus, has him eyeing the region again for next season.
Oh man, when I was a kid, I used to love watching that show.
The Magic School Bus. Oh, that was the dream when I was a kid. I think it's the very first vehicle I ever fell in love with.
Magic school bus.
The lichens on it, some greens and some grays, blues. You can't make that. This is exactly what you want. You just clear coat that lichen right on there.
Matt's all excited. He's in love with the patina.
With the number of classic cars here in Northwest Ontario, it should take no time at all to motivate Sager and his team to find their way back.
If you guys see anything cool, feel free to report it. Send an email to me at huntingclassiccars@gmail.com. And yeah, I'd love to see us get back out there in season 3.
Carl Langdon, TBT News.